Welcome back to L5 Star FC. A bit of a different video. We are doing transfer videos, but what we would like to see. I'm delighted to announce I'm joined with Salah, Charlie, and Wakar to go over this one. So let's break it down for you. We will be going over each position, who we would like to see, who is linked, and who we want to bring in, because it's been rumored that there is going to be a big clear out this summer. Some transfers are going to be made and big money is going to be spent. But before we start this video, please like and subscribe, turn the post notifications on if you're new here. And let's just hope that you do that and you enjoy the video. How are you all feeling today, lads? Start with goalkeepers. We'll start with you, Salah. Who's on your list for goalkeeper options in the future?
Don't have a lot of keepers. Kind of hard finding a keeper due to ages, but I've narrowed it down to two. But of course, this all depends if Kevin Keller is nailed down number two keeper. But my first one is Paolo Casanic from Tottenham. We're linked with him on deadline day. I think he will leave Tottenham this summer, and I think he would come cheap as 2-3 million. So I wouldn't mind it. And my next one is Daniel Subasic, free agent. But the only issue I see happening with this deal is his wages. Yeah, that's my keepers.
Yeah, funny enough, I've gone for Subasic as well. 36-year-old, he is a Croatian international. So he's a proven top quality player. Slightly old for FSG to go out and buy someone of his quality with the wages, but surely an option that we could pursue, or we could see Kevin Keller emerge as that number two. Yeah, I do believe that a strengthening needs to be put in place, because I don't want to rely on Kevin Keller. He's a young player. We've got to let him adapt and flourish under the experience of experienced footballers. What about you, Wakar? Who's on your goalkeeper list?
I've only got Gazaniga because I think Kevin Keller, I think if he's not number two, he'll be number three, and Gazaniga, he can become a number two or a number three.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Gazaniga is a good option. I think he played well against us back last season when there was fans in there. He made some really good saves in that first half, and he's surely an option that Liverpool could pursue. He is a backup goalkeeper. Backup goalkeepers are not known to be world class, but they're keepers that can do the job when needed and when asked for. What about you, Charlie? Who's on your list for goalkeepers, and who's on that list?
I think we should get Fabianski from West Ham. He's in the summer. He's on the final year of his contract. I think he's 36. Transfer market reports he's worth around 1.3 million, which is very affordable, cheap wages. And I think we should sign Adrian on an extension to be the third choice goalkeeper. So you've got an experienced backup goalkeeper, and then loan Kelleher to a championship club to get experience, because he does need experience. Because you can't let, how old is he now? 21. You can't let a 20-year-old rot on in the reserves gang. You need to get out there, get some first-team experience.
That's a very good point that you made there.
I think it's very unlikely that Adrian will extend. James Pierce said a few months back that I'll be very, very surprised if Adrian does renew his contract. So I think he has played his last game for Liverpool, but I do agree with Fabianski as well, because that's a very good show.
I do think Adrian will go at the end, but I do hope he stays on, reduces wages to be third choice, because you need an experienced third choice goalkeeper, and I think he'd be a good third choice.
I agree with you there. Well, mine, I've gone for Subasic. I've gone for Gazaniga. Kevin Keller had just emerged him in that, but Charlie alluded to a point where you loan him out, get some championship experience at least, because that's a good point that he has used. But I do see Adrian going, so I think there's a possible option to come in if Kevin Keller is to go out on loan and Adrian to depart the season. I've also put Areola down, guys. I feel like Fulham you could stay up. I was going to say down then, but they showed real big grit and determination to be in the position that they are, fighting that relegation zone. And if they drop off, I'm sure Areola is a serious option. He did play backup for PSG. I think every time I've watched him, he's made a few good saves, and I don't think he's the most consistent at keepers. But like I said, you don't need a consistent keeper as your backup. You just need one that will get the job done on the day, and then your keeper will come back. So yeah, they're my options. And leave your comments down below. Which goalkeepers would you be interested in Liverpool pursuing in the summer? So we'll move on to defenders. We'll start with you, Charlie. Your defenders on that list. Is there many defenders on that list? Do you think that area of the pitch needs strengthening?
Yeah, I think we probably need a centre back and someone who can play centre back and right back. I've got quite a lot of options here. So you've got that Duje Caltacart that we nearly signed on from Marseille. Something like that. Yeah, he's 24, plays in League One are going through like a financial crisis. So we could get him about 20 million. He's only 24, so he'd be a good option. Then you've got Mukalele from Leipzig, play centre back and right back. I don't fully know. Yeah, I'm not getting through pronouncements. But anyway, centre back, right back is quite fast. I think he'd be a decent option. Probably about 20 million. Ben White, Premier League experience. Good out from the back, only 23, cost 20 million. I'll throw a bit of a random one in there. Go with Roman Saiz on a free at the end of the season from Wolves, got Premier League experience on a free as maybe a fourth choice centre back.
Well, it's an interesting point you alluded to there, Charlie. You did include a lot of Premier League experience, which actually has made it onto my list as well. You've included the likes of Ben White, Roman Saiz, which could be an interesting option. We haven't heard of Roman Saiz being linked to a move to Liverpool as much as we've heard Ben White being linked to the move to Liverpool. But I've got Koulibaly on my list. Now, I feel like he will be... The club will have to pay a lot of wages for him. I feel like he's in his peak right now. So if you get him, you have to get him right now. But I just cannot see in this current climate with the COVID pandemic that Liverpool will put in a fee that can, match Napoli's asking price for Koulibaly. But I put Konate, Mukalele from Leipzig. I've also put David Alaba. Sorry. And then I've put Alaba in there. Now, I'm not too sure. He might have signed something with Real Madrid, but there were reports.
He's signed a verbal agreement with Real Madrid per Fabrizio Romano and Christian Falk. And I think he's very unlikely because there was 5 clubs that made inquiries for him and made strong offers. We were one of them. I think Fabrizio did say if there was not such thing as Spain, he would have moved to us. But I think we did offer him a big package, but I think for him, it's between Barcelona and Real Madrid. So I think that's most likely gone. Just information.
That's a bit of a kick in the teeth, to be honest, because I thought you would have been a good option. You can play centre back, left back, right back, but I think the only thing that was really in the way was the wages and how much that he would demand from the club in order for him to pay the wages. But I've also put Maksimovic from Napoli, centre back, offered as a replacement for Koulibaly if he was to leave. Could possibly be decent money, probably because you'd be the understudy of Koulibaly, but I'm not too sure. I've put him on the list, just a suggestion. I've also put Ben White and Roman Saiz, as I've said, and I've put Sven Bender on there as well. They're my centre backs. Charlie, we went to you on centre backs. We'll go to you now, Carl. What are your centre backs that the club could be interested in?
My centre backs are Ben White and I forgot the other one now. Klosterman. Konate, sorry. I think Konate, he's a very young player, he could become into a good centre back, and for now Ben White could do a job because as I said before, Van Dijk, he's coming back from a serious injury. He needs to come back slowly into the team. You can't just put him into the team straight away and just hope that he's turned into Virgil again. We're going to have to give him time. So I think we should buy someone that has Premier League experience like Ben White, and he could do a job at centre-back.
Yeah, that's a good shout there that you've mentioned some Leipzig talents that probably would not could not be there in a year's time. But interesting points here, Wakar, it has to be said. Salah, will go now to you. Who are your defenders overall in general on your list? Any fullbacks or predominantly centre backs, or who's on that list?
I have 6 names. I think this is when most Liverpool fans ask me on Twitter, what position are you most invested in? I told the defender, because now that, as Wakar said, that Virgil's coming back from a serious injury, it's necessary we sign a defender that can play and is happy to stay on the bench and can challenge for that centre-back spot. But I've gone with Konate, Ozan Kabak, Koundé, Botman, Tapsoba, and Boubacar Kamara. I've narrowed it down to 4. I've gone with Konate, I've gone with Kabak, I've gone with Koundé, and I've gone with Kamara. I think Konate is a very good option. I think he has market value for around 30 million euros, could be available for 20 million euros. And I think the only way that stands in the way of this deal is his injury prone. I think if he wants to come, I think he needs to fix up his injury record, because I've seen it on transfer market, his injury record isn't the best. And I think with Kabak, I think 22 million euros market value, and I think he can come to Liverpool next summer for 25 million. I think the reason this is my target, which is up there, is because he would have spent more time than a centre-backs that will come in, because he's already playing in the club system. So he might know come the summer, he might already know how to play in that, which is a big advantage, because he won't need to settle in. You just need to buy him and he's officially our player. And with Jules Koundé, this is my number 1. This is my preferred. It's because he's a great defender. He's great aerially, maybe a little too short, but he's a great defender. But again, the only thing that stands in this deal is his price tag and the sporting director. Because Sevilla's sporting director, let's say he never budges. His price tag is 80, and I don't see us paying for that. And one that may raise a few eyebrows is Boubacar Kamara from Marseille, because I think he can be available for 35 million euros. And if you want a centre back that can play some positions, I think he is very similar to David Alaba. He can play centre back, very good there. He can also play a CDM, and for that kind of price, I think it's not a bad shout. Yeah, so those are my defenders.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout that you mentioned there. Charlie, we went to you on the Kabak situation. You think that he probably will not be signed in the summer. There has been reports that he won't be signed. So is this an opportunity for Nat Phillips, guys? Do you think that Nat Phillips will go into that 4, them 4 centre-back options? Maybe not in the top 3, but would he get into that 4? Because his agent did come out in an article and said that his contract... He could sign another contract at the end of the season. So we'll go to you again on Salah on this one. What about Nat Phillips?
Don't get me wrong, he's been a great defender. Hasn't put a foot wrong, but I think next season we want to get back on our perch. We want to win every trophy that's possible, especially the Premier League again. So I think he wouldn't be a bad 4th choice, but you've seen what's I just don't think he's I think what Liverpool are planning, he doesn't come into the planning of Liverpool. That's my problem with Nat Phillips. But don't get me wrong, it's going to be a complicated choice for Jurgen Klopp, because he's been great for us.
Yeah, I agree. And he has been great for us. Can he do the job on the long term? Wakar, we'll go to you on this one. We did go to Charlie beforehand. We'll go see you on the Nat Phillips situation. Do you think he'll stay, or do you think he's in Jurgen Klopp's plans for the future?
I think he's an all right player. He can do a very good job this season. He's proven, but I think when Virgil, Joe Gomez come back in and we ban a centre back, I think he'll drop.
Yeah. Your signal broke up then, but we'll carry on. Charlie, we'll go to you on the Nat Phillips. You voiced your opinion on the Kabak situation. Do you think Nat Phillips will be in Klopp's plans in the next 4 years? Fingers crossed he is our coach until then.
I think he deserves a shot, but I think he should be 5th, because I don't think he's good enough for top 4, because you need your 2 centre-backs that start, and then you need a 2 backup one, and then you need a reserve one. I think he slots into that reserve slot. If he's happy to do that, that's perfect. But if he's not, then he'll have to try to push before, but I can't. Like he's solid, but he doesn't have pace, and he's not good from out the back. So I think fifth choice possibly, but I can't see him getting into the top four centre backs.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Like the defenders and like the goalkeepers. Like the defenders and the goalkeepers. Please leave your comments down below. Who would you be interested in for Liverpool to go in to the window? Who do you think Liverpool will buy? That is an interesting question. But we'll move swiftly into the midfielders. Now, we did hear the news about Jeannie Weinelda yesterday that he has agreed a pre-contract agreement, but Wakar announced to me off camera that Barcelona have not have denied any sort of approach made. Is he going to leave, guys? Because this is a question which has been asked a lot of times, and to be honest with you, every day that goes by and he hasn't signed that contract just makes it even more. Just makes it even more certain that he is going to leave at the end of the season. We'll go to you, Salah, on this one.
I think I'll put the rumors straight. I think there's a very reliable Spanish report from Barcelona who said there's no agreement in place for Jeannie Weinelda to join Barcelona yet in the summer. There were also reports 2 weeks ago that Ronald Koeman has made Iliax Mariba instead his priority in his development and rather signing Jeannie Weinelda, which makes that deal kind of unlikely. But as the day goes on, it becomes more and more unlikely that Jeannie Weinelda will not become a Liverpool player next summer. So I think there is going to be a chance he leaves. There's been talk of Inter Milan. There's been talk of PSG. But I think one thing is certain, in my opinion, and I think that Jeannie Weinelda will leave Liverpool this summer.
Yeah, what about you, Charlie? Interesting points made by Salah about the situation, the contract situation, and the rumours regarding Jeannie Weinelda. What's your take on it? Do you think he'll stay, or do you think that he'll go to Barcelona, Inter Milan, PSG? Those are the teams he's been rumoured to have had conversations with and in talks with. But yeah, what's your take on the Jeannie Weinelda situation?
I think he's got to be honest, because if he hasn't signed the contract by now, I don't think he'll do a massive U-turn in the last 4 months. So I don't know where he'll go, make a Barca, make a Inter, but yeah, I can't see him at Liverpool next season.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What about you, Wakar, on this Jeannie Weinelda stuff?
I also can't see him at Liverpool next season. Every day that goes by, you feel like he's not going to sign it. And I think with this situation, I think he's going to leave because he said in a press conference that I would be sad to play for Liverpool. So then why didn't you get the deal done? Why do you want to go to this club?
You have to understand it's not his fault. He's demanding these certain wages, and even I agree that he shouldn't be on his wages. He wants, this is not facts, this is reports, he wants to be on wages such as the superstars in Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah. And I think if Liverpool don't offer him that, I think that's perfectly fine. It's because I think the midfield will get a shake-up, so he ain't always going to be there. So I think let's give 150k to a player who's, I think he's 30 now, and he's not always going to be starting at midfield. I think it wouldn't be a good idea. So I think it's 50-50. It's either club's choice or it's either his choice if he wants to lower his wages and stay. So I don't think it's entirely his fault.
Yeah, I don't think it's his fault either, but I'm just saying that, if he wants to stay at Liverpool, then make the sacrifice for the money, play for the bars, not the money.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll go on to whose midfielders are on whose list. Well, we'll start with me, and then I'll go around to each and every one of you. Now, there's been talk that Jeannie Weinelda could go to Inter Milan, but is Nicolo Barella a possible replacement for Liverpool? He is thrashing it up in the Serie A. It'll be interesting to see if he does come. Feels like he's a very creative player. Can always create something out of nothing, and he's always an option. There's also someone I put on the list, Uar, I think, from Lyon, midfielder. I'm not sure. Yeah, great player. But Liverpool are reportedly in a battle with Serie A giants Juventus for the signing of him. But yeah, the problem is with him is that a player of his ability costs quite a lot of money, and it remains to be seen whether there would be any room in Liverpool's budget to afford the international. He has been looked as a possible replacement for Jeannie Weinelda. he's clearly a talented player and has all the makings to be a world-class midfielder in the future. I've also put Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese. There's been some reports on him. Salah's talked to us off camera that there has been rumours coming out, and according to reports, Liverpool have contacted him. Jurgen Klopp favours him a lot. They're my options. I've only put 3 midfielders. I'm not too sure who else could be interested, but go to you, Salah, on these ones. What are your midfielders and what's your thoughts on them? The options that I've mentioned there.
I think in regards to, I'll say my list, but I think when you said Barella, it's a good option, but he's not going to leave Inter Milan anytime soon, I think.
Yeah.
Di Marzio, the reliable Italian journalist, also said he won't leave. And I think the person I've been sending also said he doesn't want to leave, so he'll stay. And I've had 5 players. One of them is just my dream. It won't happen, but it's a dream. I have Rodrigo de Paul, absolutely great player. What he's doing at Udinese right now, he played yesterday and he absolutely carried Udinese. Got 8.5 rating, created 5 big chances, 6 key passes. So I think he would be a great player. He has a market value of 31 million euros, and the rumored price tag is 40 million. And we have heard, like you said, Aled, that Klopp is a big admirer, and we are interested. And as you also said, Houssem Aouar, great player. Juventus also linked with him. But again, it's due to that price tag. Are we going to have that price tag problem like we had with Fekir? I think his market value is 45. I think he would come around for 60. So let's see if FSG want to spend on him. And the third one is kind of a cheap option. I've got with Pedro Gonçalves from Sporting Lisbon. I think he's a very good talent. He's played, his stats is absolutely insane in Liga NOS. So yeah. And then I've gone with a bit of Premier League experience. I've gone with Yerzy Bissouma. I think he's an absolutely great player. He plays a similar role to Jeannie. And when I see him play, he reminds me of Jeannie. Like, he can also defend when he needs to. Like, he can also attack and pass the ball forward. I think he would come at £30 million. And the one I absolutely dream of, Jack Grealish, what player. If we get him, it will just be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, but that's my midfielder shortlist.
Yeah, some interesting options there with a wide range of prop from Liverpool, not from Liverpool, from the Premier League, from the Portuguese league, all across Europe, really. Charlie, we'll go to you. What are your midfield options, and who would you like to be brought in if Jeannie Weinelda goes, or in general, who would you like to see at the football club in the summer?
We've got 3 and they've all played in the Premier League here. Salah mentioned before, I've got Bissouma. Transfer market reports it's like 15 million, but I think it'll be like 20 to 30. He can play in the 6 well, be like the destroy like Fabinho, and he can play the Wijnaldum one box to box. It probably cost. Oh yeah, I've said it's got. And then he's 24, so he's got like probably 6 years as a midfielder. Then I've got an exciting one, Ruben Neves from Wolves. Great diagonal ball, great shot on him, great free kick on him. The only problem is he probably doesn't fit in the system. Probably doesn't work as hard as you'd like to, but I think it'd be interesting. He's 24. It probably cost about 45 million to get him, but that's the price you pay for a good player. And then the last one is probably the cheapest one. You've got, and we were linked with them before Sheffield United signed him. Van den Berg, yeah. Sanderberg. Van den Berg. Yeah, Sanderberg. 15 million, probably around that. Probably maybe even less, because Sheffield United get relegated when teams get relegated. It's financially hard for them, so they have to sell a few players. And he's only 23. I think it'd be, because when you see Fabinho outside that midfield, there's no destroyer in there to put in hard tackles to defend the defence in a way. And then I think he'd be a great backup to Fabinho.
Yeah, that's some very good options there. And like you said, Salah, and you said Charlie as well, the Jack Grealish. You also said about Neves as well. They're brilliant players that could be amongst the options, but that would be sensational if they manage to come to the club. They've got a brilliant shot on them. They're Premier League proven midfielders and got a lot to give in their respective football careers, so they would be really good options. What about you, Akar, on the midfield front? Who would you like to be brought in, and why?
I like to be brought in Christopher Nkunku. When he played against us, I think he was probably the best player on the pitch. He can go forward, create create some chances. I think for Jeannie Weinelda replacement, I think we should go for Bissouma because he's basically Jeannie Weinelda but another human. Like, I like his work rate. Or Musa Gineppo, Southampton against Chelsea. He played really good. Body on the line. That's the player that I want to see. I think I think we shouldn't buy anyone else because I think Curtis Jones. I think he'll settle into the Liverpool team next season, getting more starts.
Yeah, that's some good options. Yeah, and Curtis Jones could be used, and I think it's a role that you could flourish in next season. He's been really consistent this season with the likes of Genie there. It'll be interesting
Yeah,
to
I
see
think
whether he
when Henderson and Fabinho play together with whoever, I think Curtis Jones will play better than he has this season, and so will Thiago, because this season isn't.
he's more
I think we
competition.
shouldn't judge him based on this season because it's a new league for him, and every week is a different midfield.
Yeah, that's very, very important. You've mentioned there. I think it's all about consistency, getting a good run of games, and that'll be what will make Curtis Jones, if he does perform in a consistent run of games. And he has performed in the big games, but let's see if he can do it across a consistent run of games. And Charlie, we did come to you. Wakar, we come to you, and Salah, we did come to you on the midfielders. Yeah, like I said, with the defenders and the goalkeepers, let us know. And we are moving into the goal scoring, just where it all matters at the goal scoring end of the front. Some big options in. I'm sure that a lot of the options will be quite common amongst all of our lists. But I've gone for Haaland and Mbappe. Now, if we get Champions League football, these guys could be possible options. Charlie smiling in the back because no. They could come if they have Champions League football, but they are big money players, and I feel like in this current climate, it isn't realistic that they do
Mbappe's been offered 576 grand a week by PSG.
Yeah, they're
starting
major contract offers.
Liverpool will hardly give him over 300.
He's turning that down. I'm telling you right now. According to L'Equipe, I think he will turn that down. I think he's going to run down his contract. If he doesn't sign, this will be his last year and he'll go next summer. But I think anyone can dream. Everyone can dream.
Mate, if he does not sign this contract and decides to run it down, I will literally be the most optimistic man on this planet, literally. But yeah, I've gone for Haaland and Mbappe. But yeah, if we don't get Champions League football next season, I've gone for the likes of Daka, Chan, Callum Wilson, or Bamford. I feel like they're possible options that we could bring in. They're my options. I feel like if the Haaland and Mbappe argument, who would I take out of them? I take Mbappe personally because I feel he's more versatile across the front three. And yeah, I think he'd fit our style of play a little bit better than Haaland. However, Haaland's not human. Let's just not beat around the bush. He is literally insane. He's a big game player and someone who would get a lot of goals if he did sign for the club. We'll go to you, Charlie, first on this one. Strikers, what are your options? Are Haaland and Mbappe in your list?
Well, I put them in, but I don't think I'll sign them. So I'll go with two sections to go with. Wingers, who've got Rafinha, Neto, Barnes, Mbappe. And just to mention, Harvey Elliott returns on loan. He plays winger and a cam. And they've got the strikers, Andre Silva from Frankfurt, Haaland, and Ivan Toney. Just go through some, details on these players. You've got Rafinha for about 22 million, 6 goals and 5 assists in 24 games. It's all right. And then you've got Neto, only 20 years old and getting games for Wolves. So you're looking at that. He's probably cost about 30 million. He's got 5 goals and 5 assists in 29 games. Barnes, he's my favourite out of all of these. Harvey Barnes, I think he's a great player. He's been consistent for Leicester over the past few seasons as they play a very similar system to us. Only 22. He's got 9 goals and 4 assists in 25 games. I think he'd be a great signing. Obviously, Mbappe, everyone knows he's prolific, but I can't see it that transfer fee and the wages are just impossible. Andre Silva, I think's a very interesting one because he's got as many goals as Haaland in the Bundesliga, 25, probably cost around 30 million. He's got 21 goals in 24 games. He's got a really good header, really good finish, and really good link-up play. I think he perfectly fits striker up front. And then you've got Haaland, just exceptional, isn't he? He's got absolutely everything that you need in a striker. There's no weakness to his game whatsoever. And then I'd call him probably a poor man's Haaland with Ivan Toney. He's been a goal machine for Brentford. I think he's on the verge of breaking the record for all-time Championship top scorer. He's got 28 now, so he only needs 3 more in 10 games to surpass that record. He's got 28 goals and 9 assists in 36 games, so that's a goal involvement every game, which is just amazing.
By the way,
and then,
sorry to just interrupt you. Breaking news: Adrian will not continue at Liverpool after this season. Spaniard wants to retire at Real Betis, so I think that's basically him gone.
Yeah, that's him gone. I think. Well, like I said, do we go for Subasic? Do we go for Areola? Do we go for a Premier League keeper, Fabianski? Yeah, that's some breaking news there for you. Adrian will not. It's most likely not going to play for Liverpool next season. But we'll continue. Charlie, did you finish your point?
Yeah, just one quick one. Mention on Elliott, probably. I think I saw a stat. It's like he's got the most goal involvement in the whole league system. So that's Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, all the things. He's got 5 goals and 10 assists in 33 games, which is really good. And Blackburn are on a great side for the Championship. They're around mid-table, so he's done really well, and I think he can make an impact next season.
Yeah, I think he can make an impact next season. I still feel like realistically with Salah's in the team, I feel like probably Harvey Elliott probably needs another year out on loan, and then I feel like if Salah is edging towards the end of his time at Liverpool, then I feel like that's time you start bringing in Elliott, getting him more game time, and then the season after that you start to get him consistent run of games if we haven't already got Mbappe. But we'll go to Wakar on the strikers and the wingers. Who have you got, Wakar?
Well, I've obviously got Haaland and Mbappe, but just like Charlie said, I don't think we'll get them because, I mean, Mbappe, I think there's a chance if we get Champions League. I think Haaland, I don't think he'll come to Liverpool. And if we don't get Champions League, then I think Mbappe will just go to Real Madrid or something. I think Rafinha, Podence or Pedro Neto. I think for striker, I think maybe a Tammy Abraham, with the way that we play, whipping balls, and he's got aerial threat. He could finish 1v1s, and I don't think he'll be getting. I think he won't be getting to a Chelsea team anytime soon because they've got Werner, Kai Havertz. I don't think I think he's lost his space because of Giroud as well. So I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind Ivan Toney because clinical goal scorer. I think Andre Silva, I'll take him as well. He's all right.
Yeah, there's some good options that you've mentioned there. Salah, did we come to you on the strikers? Did we come to you on the striker front and the wingers?
Yes, you can.
Did we come to you? Sorry.
No, you haven't. I'm just talking right now. You haven't come to me.
All right. Anyway, who would you bring in across that front three?
A man can dream. Mbappe and Haaland on my list. But if you're looking at it, I think a report came out today that the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United and Liverpool are interested in Patson Daka. Great striker from Salzburg, plays in the Austrian League. And I like him a lot when I've seen some compilations. So yeah. And another one would be Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. I think there were links yesterday. He has a 28 million euro market value, and I think he would be good. And a surprise one would be Folarin Balogun from Arsenal. His contract runs out in the summer. We've been heavily linked with him. A lot of clubs has been linked with him. I think he'd be a good one. And if you want to go into the wingers, as Charlie said, I think the 3 that stand out for me are Pedro Neto, Harvey Barnes and Rafinha. I think for me, I'd love to have a Neto or Barnes. They absolutely full of energy, and yeah, they're absolutely great. And when Wakar was talking about two strikers, we're linked with one called Sasa Kalejic from Stuttgart. We are linked with him, and their sporting director said they wouldn't be surprised if he comes to us. He's very tall, 6'7", and just imagine Trent and Robert whipping crosses into him. Yeah, so that's my attack and shortlist.
Yeah, that's very good. And to be honest with you, I forgot to put Neto, Barnes, and Podence on my list. And yeah, surely Premier League proven players, not too old as well, really young, got a lot to prove in the Premier League. So I'm sure they would be some options for Liverpool to buy in the summer. Well, we've covered a lot there in this transfer special. But yeah, that is it for today's transfer special. Please leave your comments down below on the striker front, as well as the midfielders, defenders, and goalkeepers. Who would you bring in to bolster the squad and try and get back to where we were last season? Because we all know that we can with a few good signings, and there's been a lot of reports that there will be a big summer. So let's just hope, let's just pray that we do get that job done on the summer, and then we can go forward next season and try and get back to where we were. And yeah, that'll be the main aim. But yeah, thank you for everyone who has tuned in and watched right till the end. Please like the video, hit that subscribe button, turn the post notifications on. Let's get this video up to 30 likes. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining me, and thank you penultimately to Salah, Charlie, and Wakar also for joining me with this special for L5 Star FC. We'll see you all soon. You never walk alone.